This podcast is part of the Red 5 Network. For more Red 5 Network podcasts, visit red5network.com.
Another Star Wars podcast presents We Have Spoken, aka Transforming into Bob, or the Book of Boba Fett. Welcome to Bob. We're back. Sean, Mike, and Damien going to bring every episode to you, all 7 of them, to your eardrums, to your eyesight. New this season, we're going to bring this podcast to video. Check out YouTube at Another Star Wars channel. You can find all the links at bio.link/extra techie. Make sure you follow Extra Techie on all the socials. Check out the bio.link for all of the relevant links. And of course, make sure you follow Mike and Damien on the socials if you choose. Check out Casa de Dupree, an up-and-coming channel about all sorts of things nerdy. Damien does a good job, but enough about that. We're here to tackle the Book of Boba Fett, a Disney Plus series veering off from the Mandoverse and hopefully coming back to it as we patiently await Mandalorian Season 3. Listen up as we tackle each episode, talk hot takes, and of course, give you our one-sentence summary. Sit back, relax, grab a drink, and let's do this thing. We have a bounty hunter to catch up with, and from what I hear, he's pretty legendary. Welcome, everybody, back. It's a quick turnaround from just our first Bob episode just a few days ago. It's 12/30, 2021 on the eve squared of the new year. New you, new me, new pod, right? Set some resolutions here. So we're back again. Hey, I hope you were able to check us out on YouTube and actually see our faces and expressions and our blank stares at each other as we're trying to get used to this whole new format. I was coughing up a storm. I had to remember that I was on camera. I know Mike was coughing up a storm. We have cough buttons. The only one who really dressed up tonight is Damien. So thank you for wearing green and repping the birds today. Damien, how we do?
This is I'm still wearing the same shirt from the prediction episode. It's like my bedtime shirt. So once we're done here, the little Lego Sherpa comes right off and I'm in bed. I'm good to go. But yeah, doing pretty good. I got 2 watches in of the Book of Bob's Burgers, and can't wait to talk about it.
Your shirt that you're wearing has more continuity than the sequel trilogy.
But it stinks just as much.
Oh boy, we are upsetting.
I don't sweat that much, and I wear deodorant and I shower, so I'm good.
Okay, Mike, let's throw it over to you, sir. How we do?
I mean, speaking of showering, I haven't showered at all this Christmas break.
Hey, whatever, man.
Dude,
you do what you got to do, right?
I'm all right. I smell fine.
Yeah.
I also have my 2 watches in of Boba Fett, and yeah, just here to have a good time, everybody.
Yeah. We've had long days ahead, and of course, I am Sean, the host of another Star Wars podcast point of view thing, and yeah, we're going to be on the YouTube. We're going to be on which was interesting. I was telling the boys here is that when you upload a video to Anchor, you can then watch the video on Spotify, which I found to be very interesting. It's in beta right now, so the analytics on it is interesting. But you can watch and whenever you want and listen back. So hopefully, now that we have a week to breathe, you'll have an opportunity to give this episode a listen, and then go check out the prequel episode from before, and you get a little idea of where we thought the show was going to go. And at the offset of what we thought, it's completely changed only in a day, which is kind of interesting. So I also have 2 watches. I watched in the morning with the pup. I've been watching with subtitles on, just because that's kind of what I've been doing. And then I watched it this morning by myself, nicely, and I was able to capture some audio, capture some screenshots. I posted a screenshot to Twitter because one of my buddies from the Red 5 Network, shout out to the Red 5 Network, another Star Wars podcasting media content, is part of that. He said that the show, the Disney Plus shows have not been cinematic enough for him. And I said, I don't know what that means. Like, what does cinematic mean? He goes, like, big shots, wide shots, long shots, like the shots that establish the environment. He feels like it's like fan service right now. So if you go on to Twitter and check out at ASWPOV, I posted a screenshot of Mos Espa. And I don't know if you caught it, but like it's a crazy looking shot. Like the real estate on Tatooine is popping. Interest rates are low. Is this because Jabba's gone? You know what I mean? That people are flocking to Mos Espa? Do people really love sand?
Gentrification, dude.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's very, very interesting. So cinematically, I trolled him on the internet and said, is this cinematic enough for you? Because it's literally that shot of Mos Espa is more dense than the amount of ships at the end of The Rise of Skywalker. I will submit. Even
some of the rooftop, like,
awesome
American Ninja Warrior shots.
Yes.
Like, yes. They panned out, and you saw a lot of Mos Espa in those shots.
For sure. Yeah, there's definitely lots to look at. There's definitely lots to look at. So how does Bob work? Well, it's going to work very similarly to the We Have Spoken agenda. We're in the middle of our opening and introduction right now. We're going to recap the episode really quick. You've already watched it. You're obviously not going to listen to this without watching it. You're here for the goodies. You're here for the gushers. You've already ate your dinner. Now you're here for the snacks. All right. We're going to go through our top moments, our bottom moments, aka list of grievousnesses. Things that don't make the top or the bottom are noticements, things that we noticed that you may have not noticed. We will talk about our one sentence summary, which is always fun. We recorded a 7-minute little segment of predictions from the past episode, which may or may not align, and we'll talk about that. And then we'll predict for Chapter 2, and we'll move along with our episode. So, yeah, that's going to be our agenda. It will probably only be 92 minutes long. It's not true. That is not true at all. So, in my watch today, I was able to get a little time stampy. I sort of broke down the episode. There's 3 major parts of this episode. There's from 0 minutes to 12 minutes. It takes place in the past. From 12 minutes to 25-minute mark, it takes place in the present. And then from the 25-minute mark to the 34-minute mark, it goes back to the past. So real loosely, it goes from flashback Camino to Geonosis to the Sarlacc to Jabba has taken his armor to the Sand People, him becoming a prisoner. And it sort of leaves us off there. He gets woken up by Fennec. He's out of the bacta tank. He gets dressed. There's a tribute section of the episode. They go to a casino. They're walking the streets. They get attacked by a street gang of American Ninja Warriors. And then he goes right back into the bacta tank, which then causes the other side of the past to occur, which turns out to be an interesting scene of him going out with a child Tusken Raider to find water. There's a swoop. I like the swoop gang bike. We'll talk about that. But a swoop biker gang with their little symbol. I'm sure that'll be meaning something a little bit later. And then they get attacked by a monster that I've never seen before. I don't know if anybody... I searched it, couldn't find anything, but we'll talk about it. And he earns the respect of the Sand People. And that's how the episode ends. Quite frankly. No real cliffhanger-ish. No real cliffhanger. So, between all of that, we have our top 3 moments, right, of the episode. And then we'll sort of just go off of our thought process. Okay, so oftentimes with these, we try to go back and forth because if we go top 3 in a row, somebody's going to step on somebody else's toes, and we have to scramble, and then most of the times, we have a duplicate. So we'll do this one at a time. So, Mr. Mike, you are up first. Give us one of your top moments from the episode, please.
I will save the top because I feel like there was an episode that we did of We Have Spoken where I feel like we all had the same top moment where we're like, let's just hang on to that and save it for the end. And one of my top moments was the Iron Man like scene where the armor is going on from
one
the
of mine.
droids.
That's great.
That was sick.
And I think we've talked about it before on We Have Spoken with Favreau. There are a lot of connections to what he's done with Iron Man, and I think it was one of those. I think it was the episode with the episode where Boba Fett actually showed up in Mandalorian when the Dark Troopers are coming down, and it was very Iron Man-esque.
Yes. With the explosions in the background and him walking away from it and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes. And Favreau does, even though Rodriguez directed it, and Favreau has his hand in the pot with this.
For sure.
He wrote it, and he was like, no, I want you to do Iron Man stuff with this right now. And the fact that all the droids are just putting all the armor on them was such a cool shot. I loved the Iron Man.
You know why? You know how much I loved it too? It's our first sounder. I love it so much. I love the music. I love the dramatics of it. And I want to play that on blast when Kate is getting ready for school. Get your shoes on. We gotta go.
Putting the thermos in the lunchbox, putting on the backpack.
Great moment. I totally agree with you. It absolutely. I literally wrote dressing up like Iron Man.
Yeah,
all right.
That's probably the best music of the episode too. Because
agreed.
I was so pumped for the music after hearing the music in the episode of Mandalorian, where the boom ba dum ba dum.
Did you catch? There's a very small part of it during the episode.
Yes, I did.
I think when they're walking into the city. There's a very small part of it.
Yes, and it's slowed down, so it's like, oh, this is our walking music now. And I
walk on my own 2 feet.
I don't need a litter.
Dames, did that make your list? If not, that's okay too.
So that did, but not at third. Third for me was everybody's favorite musician making his return, Max Rebo. Yes. I was so excited to see that. I was like, all right, good for Max. Like, him and the other guy are just like, you know what, let's break away from the rest of the band and just kind of do our own thing for a little bit. It's like the Beatles or the Avengers.
Yes.
That was just neat. It was a quick second, but it was just cool to see like Max Rebo alive and well doing his thing.
So you said that in our Instagram group chat, and I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Like, I couldn't place it, and then I watched it again, and I was like, Rebo, that's what he's talking about. I got it. And of course, watching it on with subtitles, it literally said Cantina theme variation.
Yeah, so I was like, the remix.
Yeah.
Max back with the remix.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Very nice, very nice. All right. One of my favorite scenes is the mayor's major domo.
What a jerk.
Wow.
He's the best ever, and I completely loved his attitude because he's such a politician. Apologies and understanding, and like he's using vernacular. He's trying to sweet talk like intelligence over their our good friend Fett. And it's a longer clip. It's about 2 minutes, so hang on tight. But here is that entire segment with the mayor, Major Domo.
The mayor's Major Domo, actually.
We were told the mayor was coming to pay tribute.
Indeed, yes. With apologies, I understand how one might draw such a conclusion from the correspondence.
Very well. Extend my greetings and appreciation for the mayor's tribute.
Another understandable misunderstanding. The only tribute I bear is the mayor's heartfelt welcome, which I express in his stead.
So you bring no tribute.
The mayor's heartfelt welcome and regrets that he's been drawn away by pressing matters, milady.
If you had spoken such insolence to Jabba, he'd have fed you to his menagerie.
Apologies. Apologies.
Tell the mayor I'm here now.
He knows. Yes, he knows.
Perhaps another time. Next.
Actually, there is one other matter, if I may.
What is it?
The matter of tribute.
I'm confused.
He wants you to pay him.
What? I'm the crime lord. He's supposed to pay me.
Shall I kill him?
He works for the mayor.
Is that a no?
That's a no.
Lord Fett offers the gift of your leave unmolested.
Apologies and appreciation. The mayor may take it differently, but I shall indeed convey your sentiment. I would not be surprised if you receive another delegation in the near future.
Keep an eye on that one.
I keep an eye on everyone.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Yes,
So good.
he's such a slippery snake.
Oh, so
Yes.
slimy. So
It's-
slimy.
So good, so good. So then, it obviously leads us to the question of the mayor appears to be our major game conflict, right? Our final boss. And who could that mayor be? It's not the Trandoshans, right? It's not the Aqualish. It's not that. Who could he, who knows? Who knows who it could be at this time? But I'm interested to see that. So we'll talk more predictions on the mayor, I'm sure, a little bit later. So I had Major Domo. He was number 2 on my list for sure. All right, so that we swing that back to Mike. What you got?
I have the scene, just the shot. Like, one of my top moments was the shot of Boba on top of the unknown sand monster.
Cool.
With the sun behind, like him just like rising like a phoenix from the ashes, killing this sand monster who I did extensive Google research. And by extensive, I mean I Googled Boba Fett episode, a book of Boba Fett episode 1 sand monster name, and came up with nothing. And with that whole, I also like the symbolism of him choking out the sand monster the same way Jabba got choked out.
Yeah, for sure. I went one step further on the research. I screen capped the monster in full Machamp mode. I can't even take credit for that because I saw. Okay, so I saw that on Reddit. And I took the picture of the monster and Google image searched it, and nothing came up. Not a damn thing. For a second, I thought it was one of the creatures of the Jarek, the hollow chess, and that would have been I don't know. I mean, I'm a stupid idiot when it comes to Star Wars, but what a great little Easter egg that would have been if it was one of those monsters that we've always seen it hiding in plain sight. But it wasn't. It is an unknown Tatooine sand monster Pokemon Machamp gone wrong.
When I saw the little claws when they were like digging out the claws, I was like, oh, this is going to be a Rancor.
Mm.
I was wrong.
Yeah, Rancor came up in Google Images. I think that was the only thing the database could like find on Star Wars and that monster. So
Just crazy. He looked
Yeah.
like Goro meets Machamp meets a Minotaur. Like, but I don't know. I have so many questions. Like, how he was just like sleeping underneath the sand, like just chilling. And then the Rhodian wakes him up, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I gotta like eat and kill people and stuff."
that Rhodian
Annoyed
got double fisted
jerk.
into the sand and is instant kill. Did you see his hands? Hands coming out. It was like,
Oh, that Rhodian, two things.
Rhodian deserved what he got.
One thing
100%.
about the sand monster, walking on all fours and then still having two arms to destroy things is terrifying. Two things. Number two, the costume for the Rhodian. Did you notice when I'm skipping in the noticements because I don't care
That's fine.
anymore.
We can.
When the Rhodian was digging, the hands were like rubbering back. Like
Not good diggers.
Whoever was in that Rhodian costume could not put their fingers into the Rhodian fingers.
Yeah.
And the fingers are just flipping back, and you're just, I guess I'll just mash together and see if anyone notices. I noticed.
How stupid was that scene of digging? I hated it so much. And it didn't even
every time he found a stupid thing of water, he's like, "Oh, look at me!" Yeah. And I'm like, "Shut up, dude! You could have got out of here. You could have got off world."
There was a kid. It was a kid.
Yeah,
right. What's going on here? I don't understand.
Rhodian definitely had some like daddy issues or something. Just needed approval from somebody, even a
for sure,
a Tusken Raider or Sand person. What is Tusken Raider or Sand people? Like what?
Tusken Raider.
Okay,
both.
I've always done. I've like Tusken Raider for me, but yeah, I mean it's a kid, and you're just like, "Hey, look at me, I got water." Like terrible.
Look, child,
yeah.
Are you proud of me, child?
Easy, youngling.
Easy, youngling. I need some water.
Oh man. Okay. So yeah. So that's not a great moment, but we have a few more top moments here. James, anything you want to mention?
So yeah, I mean, my number one for me was just what we've been waiting to see since 1983 is how he got out of the Sarlacc pit, or I guess technically since Mandalorian, how he got out of the Sarlacc pit, because we never knew. I mean, there was a couple different like comics out there where there was like two kids that fell in there with him and heard him screaming like a girl, and they like bribed him that they'd help him get him out or something. Like this was just Boba Fett, like to a T. He punches a hole through the intestinal wall, just like goes to town with his flamethrower, just crawls out. Like that was pretty cool. And seeing the stormtrooper in there was like, because we didn't see any stormtroopers fall in there. So like, how long was that guy in there digesting? Like,
right.
It was gross. But that for me was my number one, because that was something everyone wanted to know. Like, how did he actually survive this?
Yeah. Yeah. For me, all the opening scenes was the number one, between Camino to a young Boba Fett, which we sort of talked about that was going to happen in the prequels, with me getting Daniel Logan's name wrong about 8 times. And then into the Sarlacc pit, Jabba's barge is just destroyed, and it pans down and whatever. Some people online said in Legends there was a book or something like, Boba Fett does escape in Legends, but like when you're in the Sarlacc pit for too long, you suffer from hallucinations, and he sort of had to fight himself and escape at the same time. So I think some of the Legends people were a little butthurt about it because it was a quick escape. For me, it was a little cheap. It wasn't like, why didn't he just jetpack out? I don't just go up.
Well, Sean, wasn't there another legend where there was a stormtrooper down there who was still alive with him?
I think that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
And then, I think he tricked the stormtrooper to activate his jetpack, and he popped on out of there.
That's cool. Yeah, that's that for me. That would make more sense because
from what I was reading, that was that was the legend that I was reading.
Okay,
there was I think there was another where he like somehow communicated with the Sarlacc itself, and it was something similar to what you were saying, Mike.
Yeah, I think we're all right inside the ballpark
So
there.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, like I wish it was longer. It was cool.
Yeah,
but I do wish it was a little bit more longer. Like I could have done with less like being dragged in the sand and more like how did he just pop out of this random spot of sand? Like I want to see like the crawl, like how he gets from the intestinal wall like out there.
You've never seen Kill Bill?
Oh yeah, I have.
Where Uma Thurman just like up to the top.
Beautiful.
Well, I wanted to see that. Just with Tempora Morrison jumping out there.
Also, wasn't the Sarlacc dead? I think I read in Legend the Sarlacc was dead. And
I feel like I heard that before, that he may have killed off the central nerve of it, which then sort of reduces the acid. There's still acid, but maybe it's like there's no production of it, so whatever's there is there. So that's yeah, maybe.
Also, I'm not a scientist, I'm just a science teacher. But if something is that acidic, if you're like firing through that, aren't you just going to set everything and yourself on fire?
You know what? When my pasta gravy is too acidic, I add red wine to it. That's about it. That's about all I know.
I just take a Tums and I'm usually good to go.
I don't know. It's just they wanted to get the story started, and I get that. I do believe they dropped the ball on the Sarlacc moment for me.
Yes.
It was a little boring and not. It just like it was a letdown for me. Like I would have appreciated even a lengthy, like you said, less sand dragging and more back to tank PTSD flashbacks to Camino, flashbacks to Geonosis, flashback to him getting hit, and then the end of the episode is him escaping the Sarlacc. Like that almost, and they could have done everything the same.
They rushed it.
I feel like they rushed it. So anybody else any of top moments? Mike, did we get to your top?
Well, I just wanted to continue talking about this, that Patton Oswalt in 2014, 2015 predicted this on Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Where literally shot for shot talks. He says it's what episode what episode 7 would be, how it would start. But no, it starts the Book of Boba Fett, where he pops out of the sand, and I'm like, oh my god, this is shot. I listened to it again today, and it is shot for shot of what Patton Oswalt described in 2014, 2015 on Parks and Rec. And in my mind, I was like, let me do some deep diving. Let me see if Robert Rodriguez happened to direct an episode of Parks and Rec, and specifically that episode.
Yeah.
Let me see if anybody from Tamora Morrison, if Ming-Na Wen was in this episode. No, the episode was directed by Amy Poehler, who has nothing to do with the Star Wars universe. Produced by Mike Schur, who, Office, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Nothing to do with the Star Wars universe. And I'm like, did Favreau do this just to mess with us? Is he boys with Patton Oswalt? And
I don't know, man.
I feel like something's going to come out within the next couple of days of Patton's I talked to John about this and he thought it was a great idea.
So, Patton Oswalt is now Pip the Troll in the MCU. MCU's under that Disney umbrella. So maybe he snuck into some kind of pitch meeting and was like, hey guys, here's how I think it should go down.
Hear me out.
I know I'm the CGI character in the MCU, but just listen to me real quick.
Have you seen season 5 of Parks and Rec? The episode's called Article 2. Watch it. I have some ideas.
Yes, that's it. Enough said of that. Yes, indeed.
He put a patent on that idea.
Ha ha!
Maximum initiative.
That's a max initiative pun right there. Okay. Now, I know behind the scenes we definitely had a little trouble. Well, thinking of top scenes. Before we get into our bottom three, let's just get it on the table right now. The episode wasn't like groundbreaking like episode 1 of Mandalorian was, right?
Yep.
And it was a lot of meh, and it's a lot of story building, and I'm agreeable to a story building, world building episode. Agreeable to it. Maybe they should have did Ep 1, Ep 2, drop back to back like they did with Hawkeye. I mean, that seems to be a common thing they would have done. Maybe that would have helped maybe quell the uneven pacing of the episode. For me, it was a little bit of uneven pacing, which actually just transitions into one of my bottoms. I just felt like the episode really ramped up in the beginning, and then we went right back into the Sand People, and I just didn't like. I already knew what was going to happen. He was going to earn the respect of them somehow. It was a matter of time of what he did. So I'm glad he did it at the end of this episode. But yeah, it's uneven pacing and a little bit of predictability for me in this episode. Dames, what about you? A little bit of a sour moment.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was the same thing. It was just too many flashbacks. Like Mando did that where we had the flashbacks of like the battle droids and everything else. We're like, oh, and it was kind of neat because you're like, okay, who's gonna rescue him? Like, could it be Obi-Wan? Could it be like somebody of importance? Instead, it's just like a random Mandalorian. But for this, it was just kind of like we already knew what happened. Like he's carrying the gaffy stick in Mandalorian, so like we know that he either beat up one of the Tusken Raiders and took it, or I guess earn the respect, which I wouldn't have thought that happened. But yeah, for me, the flashbacks were cool, but I wanted more from the first flashback and less of him with the Tusken Raiders and digging for water and stuff like that. It didn't do a whole lot for me. And even just like the scenes where they're walking around Mos Espa, I'm just kind of like, it was
your silence tells it all. It's just like there's are we desensitized to the Star Wars galaxy to where we're like, this is exactly how it should look like? Now, please impress me with better things. Like, is that it?
It's tough, man. It's tough to top Luke Skywalker. I mean, that's kind of like the bar right now. And even Mando episode 1 or chapter 1, we still had that Grogu reveal, which was like, what? Like, there's another one of Yoda's faces out there.
It did leave you with a big cliffhanger.
It was massive. So, I mean, for right now, it's just kind of like, I'm glad Boba's back, but I'm kind of, my expectations are a little tempered for where it's going to go.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I definitely agree. I mean, a cool moment would have been like if the mayor turns out to be like Kira from Solo. Okay, now you've got my attention. Now you're starting to do the thing where I get the Spidey tingle where you're connecting storylines together instead of trying to fit in stuff. Like, I don't know. Mike, what about you? A little bit of a sour moment.
Well, I want to continue with this where we're saying, like, I do feel the same way of, like, hey, this is the first episode. You need to come out firing. But I think what made Mando episode 1 work, I think the episode was called The Child, right? Or chapter 1, was that Mando was just a brand new character to the Star Wars universe. Din was a brand new character, so they need to come out firing. Boba is already an established character where I think Rodriguez, Favreau said, hey, we're going to do this slow build to something great, where I do agree that this episode was 100% meh, but I feel this episode was, and because they only have 7 episodes, we're starting in the middle of Mando seasons, where we have those meh episodes of just story building or going to a planet and accomplishing a mission and then going to another planet. So I think they're starting essentially in the middle instead of at the beginning of Boba Fett, where I think it's going to be a slow build to something great rather than, oh, we need to introduce this character with something that is going to blow your mind. I think there is going to be something that blows your mind, like you said, like Kira showing up as the mayor.
Yes.
I think there is going to be something that's going to blow your mind and connect the dots, but I understand why they didn't do something mind-blowing episode 1.
Yeah. Now, I agree. I like all the words you just said, and I agree with you. Now, say I'm a new viewer. I don't know anything about Boba Fett. Or I know a little bit about him. I know he was in the movies, right? And I'm not on Twitter all day. And I watch this episode, and I go, huh, I like that episode. But is he the best bounty hunter in the galaxy, according to this encyclopedia?
That is one of my bottom 3 as well.
Because all I got from him, and it's okay to show your feelings, gentlemen. It's totally fine, and I'm not discounting it. But my boy was soft the entire episode, and I don't know what they're doing to the character that was revered and feared for years in the galaxy. Did he have a moment in the Sarlacc pit of, you're probably wondering how I got here.
Record scratch.
Right. So like, I wrote down, I don't know, Dan, are you in agreement to this, that it was a little bit of a soft Mando?
Yeah, 100%. It was
okay.
It wasn't Boba. What's Boba, but it just not what I expected.
So I have themes that I wrote down, which is soft. That all goes around softness. We've got, did you catch any of that? A little bit of humor, right, with the Oculus. Did you catch any of that? I'll spare your life. Easy, youngling. I do not torture. Speak freely. Alive. He wants that dude alive. By the way, after he just blew him to shit. Right? Bang! And then says, I want him alive. What? Okay. And then weird. I worked for him. So like, I don't know what kind of, like, I don't get it. Like, Boba Fett is the guy that didn't talk, but you were like, yeah, you don't want to mess with him. Mm-hmm. I think he's talking too much. He's got a little bit of more of a different personality than I perceived in my brain. You know, like I just feel like it's a little off-putting for me. And again, I'm not against, sensitivity.
But see, I think that's why they have him talking in like 4-word sentences tops.
Yeah.
Like there's no fluff with him. It's just like this easy youngling.
Yeah. Yeah. Like in the casino. No. We can do it right here. This won't take long. And I'm like, what is he, like a grandfather walking into a deli? Like what is going on here? I don't get it. Anything on that?
Yeah. I mean, so we know from like the MCU that they always like to inject humor, and there's always jokes. Sometimes they land, sometimes it's just there to like make it a lightened up little movie and lighten up the situation. And I feel like they're trying to do that with Boba a little bit. I have a feeling though, and I'll go into this in predictions, but I have a feeling like it's not going to be a long lasting thing, but I just think that maybe he's just been out of the game for a while and he kind of forgets how things go. But at this point, like Fennec is more Boba than Boba.
Yeah. Do you want me to kill him?
Yeah, exactly. She was just like, no nonsense.
Even like this scene with the Rodian.
Rodian, do you want me to cut your bonds?
Like in Clone Wars, he would have been like, later, I'm getting the hell out of here. Why is he offering help to people? Like, I don't.
He has a new lease on life because he.
I mean, it must be.
The only thing I could think of. Plus, he knows that he can't bend his fingers to untie his restraints, so that's why he offered to help him.
I did enjoy this through the Aqualish.
Did you catch any of that?
Something about friendship?
We really need a protocol droid.
Like that for me, I did get a laugh out of that. Like I thought that was fun. I thought that was funny. I thought that landed. I thought that hit. But like maybe one jokey thing for Boba, and less less gentleman. I don't know. I don't know if people agree with me out there, but it's maybe he's going to be, maybe Fennec goes and that's his hard lesson.
Yeah. Speaking of Boba being like a human, my one of my bottom 3 of Boba being human was that, similar to Mando, he was getting his ass kicked. And like I understand coming out of the Sarlacc pit, and out of the, not just the pit, the Sarlacc, and you not having food or water, but you did have that carrot energy drink somehow. What the hell was that?
Pretty sure it was an intestine of some sort.
Yeah. It looked like a carrot. So,
oh my god.
So, like, I understand. Well, even that, I don't understand him being the most feared and respected, like, bounty hunter of all time, getting his ass kicked by one Tusken Raider. And then when he's in present Boba Fett, him and Fennec, even though, the Sub-Zero Scorpion characters had those dope shields that they couldn't penetrate, like, there was only, 5 of them? 6 of them?
Yeah, five I think 6, yeah.
We saw him in Mando take out an entire army of stormtroopers with a gaffy stick.
Okay, so that's my point. We were reintroduced to Boba Fett. We listened to it, right? Yeah. 2 battalions of stormtroopers, and they boogie out of there, right?
Yep.
And it's almost like a completely different character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by the Gamorreans,
which was great, by the way. I thought that was awesome.
I thought that was cool too. But you're Boba Fett.
But they were done. Yeah, no, they were done for sure. They were absolutely done without the piggies, as they've said, the piggies to rescue. That's what I put down on it. So, yeah, I mean, I don't have any more bottoms other than softness, uneven pacing, and predictability to it. Anything else that we can add on to that? Mike is physically raising his hand. Did everybody see it? Okay, good. Go ahead. Hold on, you're muted, bro. Do it again.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Whoa.
That was an accident. So, you're probably wondering how I got here.
Oh, boy.
So, there's 2 CGI moments.
Oh, yeah.
That were just absolute garbage to me. One was, I think the helm's, what's it called, a massif?
Yeah, the subtitles tell me it's some kind of massive.
So he was chasing after Boba, and they were running into the desert, and you could clearly tell that it was not a human running, and it was not a dog running, and the dog just jumps up and looks at like it's nowhere near the person running, and they just fall over and end scene.
Yeah,
bad.
I didn't notice it on the first one, and then I noticed more of how, no, I can't say how bad night filming was, because filming in darkness is difficult. I was an experienced cinematographer. Filming without light, like proper light, like moonlight, is hard.
Yeah.
So maybe they did that on purpose. Like they knew that it had to be dim because it's nighttime, so they could sort of try to cheat it and not dump a bunch of resources into a non-sunny area. And maybe that's why it looked bad. I mean, there was a point where when he gets knocked out, it's like this weird contrasty, grainy, like over contrasted picture, and it like fades out. And I'm like, did someone mess up on the editing room, or was that on purpose? Like, I didn't know. I don't understand it. But like, yeah, I mean, I think for me, there was a lot more worse than the CGI aspects of it. But yeah, if that stuck out to you, that's no good. That's no bueno.
Yep.
No way.
Like, you're Disney. Get it together.
Bring back claymation.
And well, that's my second one. The sand monster's face looked like it belonged in Rudolph claymation. It was weird. his body looked great, and then the face was just looked like the Abominable Snowman.
Yeah,
from Rudolph.
The practical head looked good.
Yeah, no, I thought I didn't. I thought it looked really cool. I mean, again, I think my brain was going, "Have I seen this before?" So I don't know if I was like really focusing in. I was trying to figure it out, like as it was happening. Like, where did I see this thing before? But
we're Alan Garner in The Hangover, where like all the references from Star Wars and information are just like flying around, and you're just like
confused. And now I'm Charlie.
Pepe Sylvia.
Hear me out. This is where we're going to start. Yeah, no. Okay. All right. Dames, any more bottoms?
Nah, that was pretty much it.
Okay.
Humor.
All right.
CGI was pretty bad and too excessive.
Oh, you have another one. I'm sorry. I apologize. I would have kept with you.
Let's go. Let's go.
Keep going.
It was just one line, and it just leaves a sour taste in my mouth. And I heard it again today, and I was like, bleh. when they were talking to the mayor's consigliere,
Major Domo,
same thing,
I guess.
Fennec says, "The gift of your leave, unmolested." There are so many other words she could have said. Unharmed. That's one. That's
the. I mean, menagerie was a word that stuck out to me. Not that it was like like a bad word or anything, but I was like menagerie. There's a lot of vocab. I had to look up.
I'm not taking my SATs.
Unmolested is maybe
poor choice.
Not the best choice of words. That got through the stick in. I don't know.
I did like that Michael Scott like cringe face where he's like I was like, did you really just say that? And it was even worse the second time. Like you said, I was just like, oof. I clenched. I was like, oh God, I can't do this.
Yeah. So, thank you. I'm not going to move on until Mike says that we're allowed to move on.
Let me.
He's got 2 pages over there.
He's got double-sided. And who knows? There can still be low moments in our noticements, and these are just the things, the parts that we noticed, and we'll do a little roundtable talk. I'll start off with some technology. Did you notice the Boston Dynamics evil robot dogs?
Yes, I did notice that.
I thought that was really cool.
Watch. I was like, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, then they're real. That's not CGI.
Super cool.
They're coming for you. Dames, did you notice anything?
One thing for me that I noticed was kind of the parallel with Uncle Ben, and like in their house, when you see those guys on the speeder bikes just kind of go in and like gangbusters just like raid it. I like that. That is what I assume pretty much was what happened in New Hope with them. When stormtroopers just go there and completely decimate them, but they don't do any like gang sign graffiti or anything like that on the building. But
yeah, that's an interesting scene, and I don't understand why we saw it.
I think we're gonna see that group at some point, but
sure. But like fitting it in, like, all right, they're out in the desert to look for water, and hold on one second.
There's a hut.
Wait a second.
I think it's going to connect to Cobb, which I completely forgot about Cobb. He was fighting those same
Mospello.
Yeah, he was fighting those same type of dudes in Mospello, and I think it's going to connect to Cobb Vanth, which is why they showed the Jawas taking his armor. Not just to show that like he got
that's right. I had my timelines mixed up. That's not present. That's past. Yeah. Okay. All right. See if they're willing to continue that thread to get to Cobb, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I think that's going to connect to Cobb. So I kind of understand why they did that. Also, I thought I was like, is that Uncle Owen's place?
It did look very very fresh. Yes.
I mean, it could have just been refurnished and. I mean, how many moisture farms are on Tatooine?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's very, very, very interesting. Everything. Okay, Mr. Mike, what did you notice?
I noticed this. I never noticed it before, so I don't know if it was actually a thing in the, not even in the show. The opening, before you even get to the opening credits, when it shows all the like helmets and faces.
Yeah, they added to.
I finally noticed. I noticed this time Fennec's shield,
Nice.
which I was like, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Tell that daughter to keep it down back there, Damien. We can hear everything in there.
I know. I'm hitting the mute button as I hear it. I'm like,
nope. We
okay,
heard.
here we go.
Everybody heard it. Everybody on YouTube heard it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, no. I like I do like. First off, there's nothing will ever top the Marvel opening.
Never.
Ever. Never. It will never be topped. Maybe Bond is iconic, but it's not as exciting as when Marvel opens. And I'm glad that Star Wars found a way to get away from a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and do a little bit something different. But also it's been changing, just like the Marvel one has changed. By the way, go back in time and watch original Avengers trailer on YouTube from like 2012, and then watch something from today, and it's like, man, is the tone different. I'll tell you. It is bad. It is bad, but also good. And then read the comments and have yourself a jolly old time, because it is wonderful. The Republic credits were aplenty.
My God,
is something I noticed for sure.
Boba was swimming.
So what's interesting about the New Republic credits is that the crest of the New Republic credits is in this book, and this is a High Republic book. It's the Star Wars official timeline if you follow the new stuff. And the New Republic crest looks like this, right in the middle there with the dots around the, I think it's not a rising phoenix or something like that. That's what they call it, or some kind of whatever the rebel crest is. And I just love those little connection points, especially when you start looking at High Republic, which I'm very excited for, coming soon to a galaxy near you. But yeah, the Republic credits for me was a noticement. Just, they were aplenty. Your helmet is shinier than mine. What was it? What did she say? Yours.
I think that's exactly what she said.
Something like that. Yeah. So to finish up some noticements, any final ones? Everything. I noticed that the assassins had face tattoos, right? Did you catch face tats on them?
I did not.
Yes.
Under the mask? Yeah, I think they have something's going down there. Now, could it be that symbol that the swoop bike gang put down? Possibly, now that I'm thinking about it, because it goes down their face.
It's all connected.
It very well that may be the beginning of the mayor's dominance. Maybe that's it. That's the connection. We did it, everybody. Okay, thank you very much for listening. We figured it out, the secrets of all the good things. All right. Noticements, Damien. Any more noticements, Damien, that you have?
Nada. Not that I could think of. Yep.
Fair. Mike?
I noticed that there's another 60-ish-year-old babe in the show with Jennifer Beals.
Garza Whip.
Flashdance herself.
Yeah.
Flashdance herself.
Yeah, I was really sultry. Is it? Never mind. I'm not gonna. That's. I had something that was going to happen in the head. I will say that over text message later because I don't want people to think that I'm a weird person on here, even though I'm weird. Yeah, I definitely feel like she's playing two games there. Like Lord Fett, like, oh, Lord Fett, we're happy for your protection. Like, get out of here. Like, everybody knows that he's a joke right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of that's the attitude that I'm getting. And obviously the Major Domo has already delivered, Fett thinks he's in charge, and that's funny. Which is interesting because the other people are giving tributes. You know what I mean? So I'm just super confused by it all. And again, the tonal shifts. Are we supposed to take him serious? Are we not supposed to take him serious? How's it all going to play out? I don't know. My final noticement is, of course, the title of the episode. Stranger in a Strange Land is actually a title of a book. It was written in 1961 as a science fiction book. It tells the story of Valentine Michael Smith, a human who comes to Earth in early adulthood after being born on the planet Mars and raised by Martians, and explores his interaction with an eventual transformation of Terran culture. So that's a very deliberate title.
Mm-hmm.
Stranger in a Strange Land is sort of pop culture-y, and it's iconic when it comes to novels. So I'm trying to figure out why they chose a title with that much weight to an episode that just did not carry its weight at all. So I feel like, and I think I read that a long time ago, back when I was an English major. Also a Sean Connery impersonator, just in case you didn't catch that. And and I just remember like having to read it because it was part of a course, and I'd have to read it again because I don't really remember much about it. But the first episode of Mandalorian was called The Mandalorian, by the way. I looked it up just to go back to that. The second episode was The Child. Just to since we're on titles. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much you know about Stranger in a Strange Land. It may have also been a movie at one point, but I guess because he's been gone for so long and the crime world has changed, like you said earlier, Damien, he's trying to catch his feet or try something new, and he is the stranger in a strange land. It's much different from what he remembers.
I almost kind of feel like there's a little bit of a parallel right now with him and Robert Baratheon. Like, he has the throne, but like people are just, playing and trying to save face and just like feeding him stuff that he wants to hear and putting on a show. And they realistically know that he's in over his head and he's not capable of this job.
That's a great comparison. Game of Thrones. Very nice. Very nice. Mike, you were about to say something.
He's not necessarily a string. Like, he was on Tatooine. Like, this,
I don't know.
This isn't like he wasn't in the Sarlacc for 70 years. Like, you're not going to survive being in the Sarlacc for that long. So was it like he is?
Well, that's a good question.
Tusken Raider culture, and now he's trying to assimilate himself back to crime lord life.
All right, so that's a good question. How long has it been between Sarlacc pit escape and present time? That's a 5-year span,
right?
Yeah.
So, with that knowledge in my brain, that actually helps ease my worry of the episode, because I didn't really consider that it's been 5 years since the Sarlacc pit. Mm-hmm. I'm having dreams again. I really wish I would have thought about this about an hour ago before we just trashed this entire episode.
I mean, they could have just thrown up a quick like little blurb on the screen, like 5 years ago,
10 years later.
All right, so and I was being serious with my thought here. I didn't say it out loud, but the whole 5 years thing has really thrown me for a loop. He basically blipped.
Yeah.
And he's very confused about how things are supposed to work, and it's all changed.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just got his armor back, right? He just got his armor back 5 years later.
All he knows is weird throat sounds. That's all he knows right now.
So, like, Boba Fett blipped for 5 years.
It's pretty crazy.
And now he's back, and he's Paul Rudd. He hasn't aged a day, and he's confused. Oh man, okay. This could set up,
that race, Twi'lek.
Yeah.
So like last time he saw them, like they were just chained up dancers for Jabba.
Yeah.
Getting fed to the Rancor, and now they're like high society members, like owning.
It's interesting.
Cantinas and stuff. So
Isn't that interesting?
There is a lot to think about once you take that into consideration.
And to add on to that, there's a lot of Twi'lek and Ryloth in Clone Wars and High Republic, and they're very like French royalty. That's where they sort of derive from. Hera Syndulla of the Syndulla clan is one of the rebellion heroes in Star Wars Rebels. The Ghost, great Lego build, also shows up in Rise of Skywalker. Great things there. So I think it's a great point. this is Stranger in a Strange Land now sounds a lot more like it's making more sense for me, because it is. He is. He hasn't been around for 5 years.
Yeah.
He's been with the Sand People, which seems to be like for 5 years now.
And then like just met Din and Fennec and still trying to become a person. It's basically this is Room with Brie Larson, just trapped in a room.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never seen the movie, but I think
you've never seen it.
Happened.
Must watch. It is. It's that's a tough movie to watch. Not because of bad acting, just mentally. It is tough to watch. Whew. Must watch. Okay. My one sentence summary is not. It's not going to make the episode sound any better than we just trashing it, and then actually we just redeemed the episode a little bit by actually giving a little bit of analytical thought. You may have noticed that the audio stream / YouTube video cut. We had a little bit of a 10-minute technical difficulty. I accidentally hit stop, and we had to restart it. And then all of a sudden, the big brain starts working, and now we have other thoughts inside this episode. So apologies if this seems a little...
Our heartfelt apologies.
I could understand how you would read that from the correspondence, but it's not like we don't love the episode. We don't exactly hate the episode, but I think I like the episode more now, given the information that has been presented. But I'm going to move on to my one sentence summary, unless anybody else has anything else to add.
I'm good.
Okay. I thought of this just at the beginning of it, and I feel bad for saying it, but crime lord, more like crime board. Okay, thank you. Thank you. But I'm not wrong. I'm sorry, I'm not wrong. He's a little boring character right now. Right now, he's a little boring character, but he's going to get there. He's going to remember the old ways soon. Mm-hmm. Soon enough. All right, Mike, hit us with your best shot.
All right.
Do.
Biggie Smalls could perfectly describe this episode. It was all a dream.
Oh, that's not a joke. Okay, no, it's good. Yeah. I like that. It was all a dream. I like that. All right, Dane, please be a song. Please.
All right, here we go.
Points. Please be a song.
As the famous band Styx once said, Domo Morigato, Major Domato.
Oh, that was excellent. Thank you so much. I love the Major Domo. He might be my favorite character right now.
Like, he's just such a jerk, but I love the way he talks down to you, but it just like with such vernacular
that you're
like, okay,
yes.
like I'll let you talk to me this way. That's fine.
Oh, he's definitely he's definitely a actually guy. Well, actually.
I love that. All right. In our final segment, as we bring this episode to a close, we are going to listen. It's about a 6 to 7 minute listen on the predictions from last episode. Let's see how well we did or poorly we did. And then we'll transition into, we already have thumbs down. Then we'll transition into our predictions for chapter 2. And if all goes well, this should work out. Let's see if it does. Bob is back. We're actually recording. We're pre-recording this on 12/28. We have Mike and Damien here, and we just talked about Book of Boba Fett. You probably already listened to it or watched it over on the YouTube and the podcast thing platform that we have here. So thank you for that, and make sure you share that out. But we wanted to mention before breaking down the first episode, which aired on 12/29. This probably is coming to you around 12:30, 12:31, not the time, but the date. We wanted to give you our first episode predictions. And again, I'm going off very little information because I haven't really watched any of the trailers. So I'm going to just repeat something that I said in the prequel show of I hope to see a montage of flashy back things that include somehow young Boba Fett Daniel, what was it? Daniel Lewis?
Daniel Day Logan.
Daniel Day-Lewis, yeah.
Daniel Day Logan, that's right. And the reason why I say that, and you may have remembered this story, but so he put something on Instagram that was like this, blah, 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 blah. And I put back, like this if you are in the Book of Boba Fett, or something along those lines. I forget the exact thing that I said. And he didn't exactly like it, but he hearted it with like a winky face. So listen, I don't have to be a forensic investigator to know that I'm completely correct in knowing that Daniel
or that maybe
Lewis
he just likes you.
Well, I mean, what's not to like? I'm wearing a cardigan, for Christ's sake.
You dressed me up for the night.
I did. Well, that's because, no offense, guys, we are now on YouTube, so you have to be conscious about your wardrobe.
Yeah.
Now, so.
I almost wore the original We Have Spoken shirt, but I didn't
Nice.
want to get like copyright infringement.
we did again. Immediately taken down.
Come to my house and be like, woohoo!
FBI, open up! FBI, open up! Okay, so that's my first episode predictions. I think we're going to get, obviously, a little bit of world building. I think you're right. I think there's going to be a lot of mobby things, but are they going to take care of that, like, power struggle in the first episode? You know, and the end of the first episode is finally him on the throne. Because, like, the throne is kind of vacant, and people know that Jabba is down, and people are probably in and out of that facility. Not everybody probably knows that. I forget who. Bib. Speaking of,
rest in peace.
Bib Fortuna is right here, right on the opposite side of Boba Fett, which is pretty interesting. So he's a fatty, right? So they took care of him real fast. And yeah, I would say there's going to be like a power struggle epic montage in episode 1. Damien, what do you got?
So I am a simple man just trying to make my way through these 7 episodes coming up. I want to see Dengar show up in episode 1.
Hang on, I got you. We're gonna bring.
Always while you're flipping, I'll just ad lib here a little bit. But yeah, I mean, out of the bounty hunters from Empire, I always liked him a lot. It would just be a neat little Easter egg to have something like him show up and be like, "Oh, you're still alive? Like, what happened?" Something like that would be kind of cool. Obviously, setting up the power struggle, the battle for the throne, if that's such a thing, or we get Boba Soprano doing his thing and whacking people that want to usurp him. So,
yeah, I can officially say your theory will not work because Dengar is not even listed under bounty hunters in this index.
Wow, that's an insult.
But Forlom is, Bosk, Boosh, both Fets, Greedo, IG-88, Aura Singh, Zam Wessel made it over Dengar.
That's an insult, man.
Have you seen? Sorry, sidebar. Speaking of bounty hunters, have you seen that video of the theory behind Natalie Portman, aka Amidala, being like the hit on her in Attack of the Clones? And it's like Palpatine hired Count Dooku to kill Natalie Portman. I can't think of the names right now. And then it's like, Count Dooku hired Jango Fett, who hired Zam Wessel, who hired a droid, who hired Bugs to kill Queen Amidala.
That is a
man. Everyone got lazy. Like, what is going on there?
So it's like, what? Whose job is this? So it said, so instead of just killing Natalie Portman, Jango Fett kills Zam Wessel and tries to get away.
Good Lord.
I'll have to find it and share it to you. It's actually quite funny. So, Mike, episode 1 predictions.
So I think this episode will have a lot of standoffs. I think there will be a lot of Jabba's crew are like, yo, like, WTF, you Jabba's gone, but like Bib's boys. Like, yo, what the heck, guy? We're gonna extract revenge on you, and then there's gonna be a lot of I intend to rule with respect and not fear. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of like gun slinging, but no actual shooting. and I do think there's going to be a reference as a joke to the Palpatine "somehow I survived," and I think Boba is going to drop that line "somehow I survived."
That would be cool.
Or somebody's going to come in and say, "Somehow you
Somehow you came back.
Yeah. What a terrible explanation. Anyway, so all right, well, cool. Let's see how it pans out. We're going to replay this back right before we get into it, and we'll probably end up doing is talking about the episode and then listening back to our predictions and then making fun of ourselves. All right, so we'll keep this nice and short and sweet, under 7 minutes. We hope you enjoyed episode 1, and for us, I hope we enjoyed it too.
Bob.
See you on the other. Okay, well, I have to do math here, but I'm pretty sure I was the only one that was right.
Yeesh. Yes, you were.
I'll have to brag about it.
Yeah, I'm going to. But yeah, no, I mean, it's hard to it's definitely hard to predict. I mean, I didn't even predict the storyline. I only predict the beginning. Like, that's really all I wanted, so I didn't really know what was going on. But episode 2 or chapter 2 predictions, right? We're in the second of 7 stories here, right? So, Mike, did you have anything that you would like to see happen or you think are going to happen?
It's really hard to predict an episode off for the future where it's so much of backstory to it. Like, I think you said there was only like 12 minutes of present time Boba Fett, something along those lines. So I feel like there's going to be more backstory of him and the Tusken Raiders. Maybe a little more insight to who the mayor is, what the mayor's doing, a little more of that. I do have a feeling in one of the last 6, like we're halfway through a season, in one of these 6 episodes, I think that Cad Bane is going to make an appearance.
Ooh. I love it. I love it.
Judging from Bad Batch, he and Fennec have some unfinished business.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
And I said earlier, I think Cobb is going to show up at some point.
Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be cool. So just back to your episode 12 minutes and stuff like that. Percentage-wise, 38% of the episode was present. And 62 was past story. So, and that's kind of where my uneven pacing idea came from, because it literally, the math doesn't lie.
Right.
It was uneven. All right. So good predictions, Mike. Thank you. Dames.
Dengar is going to show up.
Got to shoot your shot, right?
I'm on the Dengar train right now. I'm in the cockpit there. No, I think Major Domo is going to get eaten by a Rancor.
Ooh. Okay, so Major Domo is going to be our first character killed off in this show. Is that kind of what you're saying there?
I think so, yeah. I mean...
Okay.
It's tough to
Apologies.
predict. It's tough to predict, like, Chapter 2 stuff only.
Yeah.
If I have to go Chapter 2 stuff only, I think we're going to see Boba slowly start to break bad again and kind of get those wheels in motion, because he can't be as pleasant as he is right now and expect to like rule with respect. Like, he's going to go back to his roots, come to his senses, and I think we're going to see him break bad. But he's also the hero of the story, so it's kind of a fine line they have to walk there.
Yeah.
I mean, people do want to see him just completely, mow down people, but at the same time, like, he's still the hero, so there has to be some kind of like purpose for it.
Yeah. Good point. Good points there. Again, plot points hard to conceive. I think just due to the shortness of the season, I think we're getting right into mayoral elections and action next episode for sure. Where they go in Sand People territory. Will he be in Mandoverse costume by next episode? How will he get his gaffy stick? Will he have to battle that person or the person underneath the hood. You know, they really look like the Knights of Ren to me. I can't get them out of my head. I think they literally are the better version of the Knights of Ren right now. Are those Tusken Raiders in the cool costumes. And then I saw this on Twitter. I will not give the person credit because I don't feel like it. But the potential of Hondo Ohnaka coming live action to this show is high. Based on Galaxy's Edge, he is live action robotic in there. I think there's a good shot that we do get a Hondo sighting. He is a fan favorite Johnny Depp's Pirates of the Caribbean meets Star Wars character. Sneaky, slimy, but very likable. Is he the mayor? That would be curious, wouldn't it be? Because I know Hondo and Boba worked together a little bit back when they were youngins. So that would be a cool thing. Will it happen in Chapter 2? I don't know, but I think we'll definitely have... we'll just have to wait for that in the new year, friends. Woo! In the new year. So any other final words?
No hard feelings, mate.
No hard feelings. Yes, no hard feelings. I do have one more. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I got one more sounder I didn't get to play, so I did the cut the bonds. Fett gets ready. Need something, and this one I didn't get to play. Oh wait, start over. Just kidding.
Fennec! Alive! Get me to the back to pod.
So that's like, get me to the back to pod. Like, what's going on with him? Like, why does he need that back to pod? 5 years later, right? So again, that just brings up that conversation of what the heck happened to this dude. I mean, he looks great 5 years later, obviously. I mean, skin's all healed up. He's got a nice tan going on. You know, he's been in the Tatooine Suns for a little bit.
Also, what did the Tusken Raiders have bacta-pods, or was
I don't know. They have to have some sort of healing.
Like, he seemed pretty spry in Mando.
Oh yeah, he needed like some Aveeno, like bad.
Yeah, for sure. So maybe that will get revealed. You know, he looks pretty beat up.
Yes.
Maybe he needs some of that carrot juice.
Do we get a Kaminoian scientist?
Does
he
Rekka?
go back to Kamino? Is it Omega? Rekka! Tick! Okay.
Hunter!
You really need to finish Bad Batch. Okay. Let's do some shout-outs. Shout out to the Red 5 Network for always promoting and being the best network of Star Wars and more podcasts out there. Dames, why don't you promote your shindig for all the peoples to see and hear?
Yeah, so me and my cover band, so yeah, I'm doing a little bit of the YouTubes as well, just like the show is on YouTube now, which is awesome. You should watch our beautiful faces. But yeah, I've just been doing some normal old breakdowns and stuff that just helps me annoy my family and friends less, because I could just talk about it by myself and then put it on the internet for random people to listen to. So follow me if you will, or subscribe, as the kids say. Casa de Dupree. That's CASADEDUPREE, no spaces.
Love it. Thank you. And make sure you do go follow him. I hate the subscribe button on YouTube. I think it is a bad naming. It's like subscribe means I'm paying for it.
Yep.
And I don't like that word. It is right under unmolested. Okay, Mike, would you like to shout yourself out on socials, or you don't care?
My OnlyFans, Mon Solo.
All right.
I am just kidding. I do not have an OnlyFans account.
Nope. We're gonna allow that to permeate for a little bit, and I hope people search for you. And then I think you have a business opportunity to create an OnlyFans account for the show, of course.
I mean, you have two houses,
science.
so you know, plenty of scenery
for science.
Yeah, I'll break down an episode while doing a helicopter. Did I go too far? I'm sorry.
No, it's actually perfect. You're hovering right around the edge there, and that's wonderful. Well, as you know, we're me as Extra Techie on the main channel, Tech and Gaming, another Star Wars point of view. That's the Star Wars stuff, ranging from taking pictures of all sorts of things, videos, breakdowns, unboxings, to Extra Lego, which is a focus in on all the Lego stuff. And coming soon, since your boy passed his airman knowledge test, we're going to be debuting Extra Drones, which will be a new adventure strictly specific to drone videography and photography and aerial shots there. So that's going to be pretty exciting coming down the pipe. So look for that in the new year. I applied for that certificate. I'll get a little license in the mail that says that I'm officially a pilot. So I'm not such a bad pilot myself. This has been Bob of the We Have Spoken group. Mike Damien, as always, it's a pleasure. Now let's get the hell out of here, get some sleep, because I got some editing to do. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for watching.